The Podium. The Podium showcases the beauty of this nation in a way to correct the ideas people have, ranging from arts and craft, culture and tourism, fashion, oil, agriculture, events, and many more. The Podium is a must-watch. It is entertaining, expository, informative, educating, and interactive. The Podium.
Redefining Africa and its beauties. Good evening and welcome to The Podium. My name is Titilola Aboyadeku. You're welcome again this beautiful Thursday. And thank you to all of you who have signed up to our newsletter. Thank you so much. It shows me that we're still together. And some people were asking me last week, they said, the Podium, is it the same Podium that we used to watch so many years back? Oh, and I said, yes. The answer is, this is the same Podium we used to watch so many years back. We used to watch it on Ben Television. If you're in the UK or Europe, you would remember we started in 2006. So we are 17 years old already. But you know, the world is moving and we are now in the social media age. This is why it's possible for me to interview my guests virtually and we don't have to be together for us to bring them to you. Who do I have here today? Someone very, very important, someone very versatile, someone that I couldn't even, with all my years of experience, I can't even put one word to describe him. This is a multifaceted man, an achiever. In his own words, I said, how do I describe you? Do I describe you as a coach, a trainer, a consultant, a realtor, or what should I describe you as? He said, I'm someone who, when I put my hands into anything, I excel. I have the pleasure of bringing to you today's guest, Dr. John Eguolor Mukoro. But before I bring him to the studio, let me show you a bit out of, because we would not be able to touch everything about his life in one show. It's not enough for Dr. Mukoro. If you know Dr. Mukoro, you would understand what I'm talking about. So let's go there.
Dr. John Eguolor Mukoro, a seasoned international coach, facilitator, and trainer, is a prominent figure in the world of business and leadership. He's the co-founder of John Moore Global Consulting LLC and serves as the president and CEO of Ese Cares Global Limited. With a deep passion for nurturing sales champions and helping organizations boost their sales revenue, Dr. Mukoro has made a significant impact in his field. His academic journey includes earning a bachelor's degree in economics from the Enugu State University of Science and Technology and a master's degree in business administration from the American Management University. Dr. Mukoro further honed his skills through the Policy Strategy and Leadership course at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in Kuru, Jos, Nigeria. He is an alumnus of the Lagos Business School Pan-Atlantic University, where he obtained certification in agribusiness management. Additionally, he is a life member of the Enterprise Development Center at Pan-Atlantic University, holding certifications in entrepreneurial management. With over a decade of active banking experience, including roles at Fidelity Bank and Union Bank, Dr. John Mukoro's career path led him to the position of brand manager at one of Nigeria's top commercial banks before his resignation from Union Bank. Notably, Dr. Mukoro is a certified business development service provider, having completed an intensive certification program in partnership with the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria through EDC. He is also a practitioner and master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, trained by leading NLP trainers in Nigeria, Innocent Minds Training and Consulting, and an emotional intelligence consultant trained by Emotion City, Lagos. In recognition of his accomplishments, Dr. John Mukoro was awarded an honorary doctorate degree in business management by European American University at the University of Accra, Ghana in 2019. Furthermore, he holds a certificate in public leadership and policy from the School of Politics, Policy and Governance. As a testament to his global reach, Dr. Mukoro was appointed as the country representative for American Heritage University of Southern California, USA, in Nigeria. He has also served as the Director of Strategy and Mobilization at Africa World Business Center, UAE, under the grand patronage of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Fazal Al Kazimi. In addition to his professional pursuits, Dr. John Mukoro is a director with Emery International, a Malaysian health, wealth, and lifestyle company, and a fellow of the International Society of Diplomats. He is also a real estate consultant at Lekki Estates. On a personal note, he is happily married to Linda Mukoro, and together they are proud parents of 3 wonderful children, Ese, Ejiro, and Ife. Dr. Mukoro's dedication to his family, career, and community is truly remarkable, making him a respected figure in the business world and beyond.
Wow. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. John Mukoro. Hello, boss. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
I can hear you loud and clear. Good evening.
I'm very happy to have you here tonight, Dr. Mukoro.
Same here. I'm happy to be here too.
So, if I want to describe you, I'm going to ask you the same question. If I want to describe you, because look at your profile. How many things did we count before we even got to Emery? And anybody who met you at Emery would have thought that was the biggest thing. And not knowing that Emery was like number 25 on the queue. So, can you reintroduce and tell us the things that we have missed out in that introduction?
Okay, thank you very much. I always tell, anytime I have the opportunity to speak to people, I always tell them that there's a question I always ask. I ask them, who are you? Who are you? And I have realized that whenever I ask that question, people come up to say, I am Mrs. Haruna. I am Mrs. Eze. People come to say, I'm a medical doctor. Some say, I am a banker. So people tend to introduce themselves. They see themselves based on the nature of job they do. And I tell them that most of that introduction you're giving to yourself, those are the roles you play in life. That is not you. That is not who you are. You are a banker today. A time is coming. 2 things will happen. You will either get tired of that banking and decide to quit banking, or the owners of the bank might get tired and ask you to leave. So you cannot look at yourself, and the only thing, because the problem with that is that there are people, the only thing they see about themselves is the job they do. They build their entire life around that job. Their self-esteem is around that thing they do for a living. So once they wake up and that job or that business is no more there, their entire system crumbles. It takes away their identity from them. So coming back to the question of who are you, I always say that you are somebody who is made in the image and likeness of God. God created you to fulfill all that you were created to be. And I'm always quick to say that true greatness is inside out. If you look at a tree, you see that the tree has very lovely fruits. Something is responsible for that. If that same tree has poor fruits, damaged fruits, rotten fruits, you cannot change the appearance or the nature of that fruit from the outside. There is something you have to do. For those fruits to come out better tomorrow, what do you need to do? You must trace the problem to the root of that tree. You must trace the problem to the seed that was planted. If you trace it and you are able to take care of the root, when that fruit begins to come out again, you will see that you will have better fruits. What am I trying to say? It is the invisible that controls the visible. If you are able to develop yourself as a person, now there are three things I have invested in the last 15 years of my life. Number one is personal development, because I believe that wherever you go to in this world, you take yourself along. So you have a duty to develop that yourself. Somebody says, when you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are.
Who you are.
So I have deliberately and intentionally invested in personal development. How do you do that? Read books, attend events, be deliberate about knowing. In the process of doing this, you are building your inner man. You are building your inner man. So when your inner man, I was talking to a group of persons, and I was telling them that when you prioritize learning, the more you learn, as you learn, the L in the learning will disappear. And when L leaves learning, what do you have?
You start
You
to earn.
begin to earn. So there's a place for learning. There's a place for learning. So I have paid serious attention to learning, and I'm still learning. Every time I have the opportunity to learn, I always empty my cup. So you always find me in learning environments, because learning for me is a lifelong event. Number two thing I have invested in is relationship building. You understand? I have learned that, see, whatever you want to be in life, no man goes to the top by himself, except another man takes him there. So you must deliberately and intentionally build meaningful and valuable relationship. I have done that deliberately and intentionally in the last 15 years. The number three thing I have deliberately invested in is mentorship, because I believe that anything you want to be in life, any goal you want to achieve in life, there is somebody that has achieved that same goal. All you have to do is to look for that person and model after that person. What am I trying to say in all this? If you deliberately and intentionally build the inner man, what happens is this. If you are in the bank today, everybody will know that somebody is here. If you leave banking and you get into business, people will know that somebody has just joined this industry. What will begin to happen is that any area of your life that you find yourself, things will begin to happen, because You have built the inner man. I was talking to a person and I said, if today I lose everything that I've acquired, cars, houses, everything I have acquired physically, the only thing I need is time. If I have time, and for the fact that the philosophy that enabled me to get those things in the first place, as far as they are still inside of me, the only thing I need is time. And those things will come back. So what defines you as a person is on your inside. Who you are is on your inside. So all you have to do is to deliberately and intentionally build that inner man so that everything you touch will become gold. Thank you.
Wow. And it's actually true, Dr. Mukoro, because I can attest to that since I've met you, everything you have actually touched became gold. I remember the last trip to the business trip we went, the conference we went for in Dubai. Even though the market was looking down, you reconnected it to an upward journey. And instead of people breaking down to say, oh, this particular market was going down, you placed them on a different ladder and it turned around to go back up. So I can testify to that you are a true leader, a true coach, and an intentional person about your life. Now, Dr. Mukoro, I would like us to talk about the topic of the day. I'm definitely coming back to your own life too. But let's talk about the topic of the day, which is JAPA syndrome. JAPA syndrome. I'm sure you know the phrase JAPA, the word JAPA. When people flee their country or a situation for in an emergency or for a greener pasture, people always say that they JAPA because of SAPA. SAPA is the opposite, which means when you're financially down and you might not be able to afford something. So can you tell us a little bit about JAPA and why people are doing a lot of that these days?
So a lot of Nigerians feel that there are not enough opportunities in Nigeria. So they feel that the best way to survive, the best way to escape financial hardship is to cross over and travel abroad. That is the philosophy of a lot of persons. But when you ask me this, I have my own understanding of how this should be. I have my own understanding of how the ideal situation should be. I believe that when you travel, you learn. I don't believe that everybody that decides to go abroad, I don't think it's a mistake if you want to. It's an error to want to travel abroad.
No.
You know, the advice I always give people is this, because when you travel abroad and you go to a hotel and you go to the restroom, I take time to always ask those guys, go to the restroom and you see that most of the guys you find in the restroom, they are black guys. You understand? The cleaners in the restroom, they are black. You ask them, where are you from? They will mention one black African country or the other. Do you understand? Can you hear me, please?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, right? Good. So when I interview them, I see that they are from one black African country or the other. And most of them, they feel so satisfied doing that job. They are so happy. They are so excited doing that job. So I tell people that it's an error for you to leave Nigeria and travel abroad with the mindset, that the only thing you have in your mind to go and do abroad is to do many jobs. It's a wrong mindset. It's a terribly wrong mindset. I have friends who go abroad and go to school. While schooling, they are doing many jobs. They know that this job they are doing is temporary. Or you go abroad, you mustn't go to school safe. You go abroad, you're learning a trade for 6 months. As you're learning that trade, or you are just learning something, building capacity. You can do that many job while you are learning that trade. Then you know that many job you're doing is temporary, 6 months, or at most even 1 year. But it's an error for you to go abroad, and the only thing you want to do is many job. It's an error. It's not something I advise anybody to do. But if you want to go abroad to improve yourself, it's something fine. It's something good. So that's my own idea.
Thank you, Doctor. My let me ask the other question. My question is, it's okay to go abroad. The likes of us left Nigeria so many years ago, at least 3 decades ago. And we studied, we did everything that we're meant to do, and we did not lose ties with home. But in this day and age, a lot of young people have this mentality that once they go abroad, that's it. They're never coming back. That Nigeria is a place where nobody wants to be. That their life, their entire life, is worth nothing if they don't travel out. What's your take on that?
Now, if you are in Nigeria, if you are just here and you have no intention of traveling abroad, the day you go abroad, no matter how smart you are here, no matter if your smartness was at let's say 80% in Nigeria, then you travel abroad, go to the UK, to the US, to America, Canada, you will see that the first time you get there, you will just realize that when you scroll around your environment, you will see that your 80% smartness will come down to about 50, based on the new set of people you now relate with. If you are a smart person, what would that do for you? You will now measure up, try to now get back to that level of 80, improve yourself, and even get higher. Now, imagine that you've now reached that level. You now measure with them, even over there. The next thing that should come to mind is this. Everybody cannot cross and go abroad. Everybody can do that. So the right thing is this. When you go abroad, you've improved yourself. Always have the mindset that Nigeria has to be built. There's no place like home. Nigeria has to be built. So you must have the mindset that any form of knowledge, any form of learning that you've done, you must think of home. How will you come back to contribute back home? That is always the idea I have. When people say, I want to leave this country and I don't ever want to get back to Nigeria again, it is not a good mindset. The mindset I want people to develop is this. So at times you go abroad and you're wondering, how come the ministers, the commissioners, the senators, They should come over and see the blueprint that these guys have over there. Why? So they can come back and do the same thing. So if we that are over there, we have learned, we have seen, we should always think of how to get back home to contribute our quota. I know that you've been abroad for decades, but there is no year you don't come back home. I know that you have a lot of projects back here in Nigeria.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
understand? So if everybody that is there have the same mindset of coming back to contribute, of coming back to say, okay, this is how it is done here, we can replicate same back home. It will be a very wonderful idea. But when people say, I am looking for a way to leave this country and I will never, ever in my life come back here, it is where it's a wrong mindset. See, Nigerians are not the only ones that travel abroad. You know, you have a lot of Indians, a lot of guys that troop into the UK, America, and Canada. But you know what? After schooling, a huge percentage of them go back home. But it's only in Nigeria that people go to school in the UK, in Canada, in America, and none of them want to go back home to contribute. So the more we develop, imagine the numbers of Nigerians that go abroad every year to go to school. If 30% of them decide to come back to replicate their knowledge back home, I think Nigeria will be better for it.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. But I have a question on that. What do you think is responsible for that line of thought, for that mindset? Because obviously, if the government of Nigeria, if they're doing what they're meant to be doing, people might not have this mindset of, I am never coming back. I don't think anybody have a country that is working and they want to go and enslave themselves in other countries and say, I am selling my property, I am selling everything I have, and when I leave this country, I am never coming back. What do you think is responsible for that?
So what is responsible for that is terribly bad leadership.
Thank you.
Terribly bad. See, it is so bad that I was listening to a governor in Nigeria. I listened to him, I watched the video. He was saying that it was, in fact, it's even an election year for the governor. Do you understand? And he was saying that is it Canada or America, they have decided to give citizens of the state jobs, about 400 of them, that he is willing to, that if any of them get the job, that he is willing to pay their flight ticket to go over abroad to start working. I watched the video. I was so ashamed. So we have terribly bad leadership in Nigeria, and people are truly and really suffering. See, we have able-bodied men and women. They want to work. They want to be able to put food on their table. They want to be able to survive daily, but there's absolutely nothing for them to do. Nigeria is such a place that a critical mass of the population are very poor. They are so poor that they cannot see beyond 24 hours. They cannot see beyond 24 hours. They are living today, and the only thing they are thinking is how they will be able to feed themselves the next day. Tomorrow. Do you understand? So it's as bad as that. It's terrible. So people that are able to afford that escape, to cross over abroad, they don't want to consider coming back. But the point is this: if our leaders today. In fact, I even believe that the leaders, they are better, they feel better when they have ignorant followers who will not question what they are doing. So you've gone abroad, you've been there for years, you've seen how things are run. If you come back, I know that in your constituency, you will be able to question what your senator is doing. See, there's an office in Nigeria that has not been utilized. People don't even know how strong that office is. That office is even stronger than the office of the president. And that office is the office of the citizen. They don't know. There's something called citizens' participation in governance. They don't know. In your constituency, where you have your senator, where you have your House of Rep member, where you have your State House of Assembly member, you don't even know the budget that the man is running on. And the man is happy. Why? Because you cannot question what you don't know. So if everyone is enlightened enough to ask questions, if they all cross abroad, and everybody here are wallowing in poverty and they cannot ask questions, I will feel that the bad leadership that we have today, they will even feel more comfortable to continue in their impunity. So I know that the bad leadership is the reason why people are crossing over and they don't even want to think of coming back. But for love of country, and for the fact that our children are still here, our relatives are still here, our cousins, our brothers, and our sisters, they are still here. The onus lies on us to see how we can come back
and build
ourselves and build here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mukoro. Talking about building, nation building now, we have a lot of unruly young people about, especially on social media. And for me, because I'm a journalist, I like freedom of speech. I want you to be able to speak your mind, but I want you to speak your truth. We have a lot of young people out there pushing the wrong narratives, not even reading or understanding what's going on, the matters, the current affairs. But somebody would tell them, push this narrative, and they will go on social media and paint their leaders this way or that way or that way. And if you engage them one-on-one, they can't explain what they are saying. I want to take you back to, let's take us back to how some young people are portraying the certificate saga of the president. The way they are portraying the certificate saga, they don't even want to check the facts. They want to hold this narrative and push it out there. It's okay if you think that's your truth. However, have they ever stopped to think about how it's going to affect their Japanese? Because now you are portraying every leader, everybody. You even go as far as saying that the likes of Professor Wole Soyinka, a Nobel laureate, a super intelligent man that we all know, and we have his CV, we understand, we know who he is. You are coming to us to change the narrative that, oh, he was rusticated, oh, he didn't even graduate, he's a dropout. And you're putting that narrative out there internationally, globally. You are dragging the leaders in the mud. And at the end of the day, do they think that the Western world will roll out red carpet to receive them? Or do they even think that coming to university in the Western world, that they used to come with the same certificate they got from Nigeria, do they think is going to now work? What's the future? What do you see in the unruliness of these young people, this generation that I believe are being paid to go out there and push a particular narrative? Because I'm saying I believe a lot of them are being paid. I have my reason. And my reason is, if you engage one of them, just isolate one of them and engage them. Try and engage them in an intelligent conversation. They can't defend their stance. Let me not say too much. Please get involved. Thank you.
So why are we not want to speak directly about the president's certificate? Because
I just use that as an example.
The current case of litigation. I want to say that Nigerians, there's one thing the Nigerian youth must know. You see, the Western world, they have a way of portraying themselves as blameless, very upright people. But right here in Nigeria, we're in a country where we always want to project ourselves as the worst kind of people on earth. We portray ourselves as the most useless, the most hopeless. Nothing good can come out of Nigeria. It's a very wrong narrative, and the unfortunate thing is that we are the one pushing this narrative.
Yeah.
And the internet never forgets. It has a way of coming back to haunt us. The current minister of communication, when he was undergoing his ministerial screening, the senators brought out something he said on Twitter some years back, when he said holding the Nigerian green passport is the most useless thing somebody can ever hold on planet Earth. He said it on Twitter, and somebody brought it up and said, if you say holding the Nigerian passport is the most useless thing, how come you are accepting to be a minister in the same country? Initially, he was trying to defend. The ministers got so angry, and he immediately realized that the only way out of the mess was for him to apologize. And he tendered an apology that they accepted. That was how he was able to scale the screen. And today he's a minister. So the internet never forgets. We are pushing the narrative that because there's controversy, and there's a supposed controversy with the certificate of the president, you are saying that every single Nigeria has fake results. All Nigerians have fake results. So what will now begin to happen? Those in the Western world will begin to screen Nigeria, them tougher screening. See, this treatment for Nigerians alone will not be very. Now they'll begin to suspect everything about Nigeria. Why? Because we are the one pushing the narrative ourselves. I always tell people that, I am in one or two WhatsApp groups where there are people, when they just wake up, they are throwing forwarded broadcasts, copy and paste, and they're just hitting. And I say that, see, as a young person, the best thing you can do for yourself is to build your own economy. Build your own economy. See, the industry, the politics as an industry is one industry that favors a very few persons. Very few persons. So no matter who becomes the president today, bread and wine will not start dropping on your table. So it is what you do for yourself, what you build for yourself, what you get your hands to do becomes a good starting point. But most of these young men, they are just on social media, morning, afternoon, evening, just throwing messages here and there, and they do no other thing. And like you said, some of them are being paid. If you even ask to find out how much this payment is, it depends. Maybe they're just paid enough to just even recharge their internet. So it's a waste of time. Do you understand? So most of this energy can be channeled into meaningful ventures. Do you understand? And again, I always tell people that focus on things you can change. Don't dissipate your energy on things you cannot change. So don't always portray Nigerians as terrible people, because when you do that, it has a way of coming back to haunt you. If it doesn't haunt you, it will haunt somebody that you know or somebody that is close to you. That's my take.
Thank you, sir. How do we strike a balance? We know that a lot of people who are upset, they have a reason, valid reason, to be upset with the system. We know that a lot of things are not working. So what advice, how do we strike a balance here? We don't want someone to sell everything they have and JAPA. So what opportunities are there available back home? How can you advise someone who wants to sell everything to leave and go and do menial jobs? What can they do? What alternatives can they look at?
So I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends who have traveled abroad. But there's one thing, my friends, a lot of them, they either have their families abroad, they go and they come back. But there's one thing that is common with 95% of them. And that thing is this. They have built a system back home. They have either built a system back home, or they have built a community back home, or they have built a business back home, such that they can be anywhere in the world and that business or that system is still running.
Mm.
Do you understand? So people, they leave Nigeria, travel abroad, but they do it strategically. So I want to advise that you should sell everything. So somebody says a man, the man that has the more options controls the system. The man that has the more options, the most number of options, controls the system. You sell everything and you pack your load and you move. You have only one option.
Yeah.
And that one option is to stay there. Come rain, come sun.
Sunshine.
Anything you see, you must stay there. It's only one option that you have. And now there are people, I have people in Nigeria who are in Nigeria, they are doing remote jobs abroad. They are in Nigeria sitting at home and they are getting paid in foreign currency. They didn't travel abroad. They are here and they're getting paid. And this payment system will not stop. You know why? Those Western companies, they prefer to have Nigerians or those from other African countries that will do the same job and get paid in dollars, but not as much as they would have paid those in their country. So why they are happy to pay that amount, those in Nigeria and in other
are happy to receive in foreign currency.
Yes. So it's going to continue for a long time. So you can do that. Do you understand? Then you can decide to build something in Nigeria first. Something you can always fall back to. I have a friend, the guy that makes my clothes. His wife is in the UK with the kids. Do you understand? So what did he do? January, he's in the UK. Then when it gets to March, April, when there's celebration, he comes back to Lagos. He's making clothes. Then when it's not peak period, he's in the UK. When it's peak period, he's back to Lagos. And now he has even set up somewhere in the UK for his fashion. So he has options. He's going and it's coming. Do you understand? So a lot of people, I have friends who have traveled abroad. They still have their community. They have their tribe in Nigeria. They come once in a while to do their training and they go back. The fact is this: the world has become a global village. Don't see your life as one that can only excel in a particular environment. See yourself, like I said in the beginning, as somebody that can excel everywhere and become the master of the globe. If you see yourself that way, I think you will be better for it.
Thank you, Dr. Mukoro. On the last notes, before we round up, what message do you have for young people who will just go out there? We've touched on them, but what message do you actually have for them who will just go out there and push the wrong narratives, knowing fully well that it's not true? They attack people. I'll use Mohbad situation, for example. By the way, we pray for his soul to rest in peace. Today makes exactly 1 month that we lost Ilerioluwa Aloba, known as Mohbad. A shining star, sun that sets suddenly. May God rest his soul and uphold his family. Look at what's going on out there. Some people use this death to make money, to make content. They just come out and say all sorts of things. True, lies, all sorts. And they started attacking his own child. Oh, we want DNA. Who are you to ask for someone else's family to go for DNA? Who are you to make that decision? Who are you to attack his wife, to attack his family, to attack everybody? These young people, in my own opinion, they're wasting their lives away. And they need to do something with their lives. What advice do you have for them?
So, like I always tell young people, whenever I have the opportunity to speak with them, the fact is this: as young people, you have so much energy, you have so much time. Where you channel that energy to matter a lot. You can decide to waste it. You can decide to channel it into something productive. So I always tell young men that as young men, you should look for learning opportunities. Always go to learning environments. Anything that will help to improve your life, anything that will help to give you an edge over others, that is what you should focus your energy in. Someone said there is no traffic in the extra mile. And what will put you in the extra mile might just be that diploma that you took, might just be that apprenticeship that you enrolled for, might just be that course, that 3 months course, or that 1 month course that you took, might just be that book that
That
you
you
chose
bought.
to read, that you read, you bought and you read. So always you have to be deliberate and intentional about it. Channel your energy into areas that will benefit you. Waking up and the first thing you are going to is to go to social media and throw attack on people, do copy and paste, broadcast, both things. Social media is not a regulated platform. So people find it so easy to copy and paste. You
And
don't verify
bully.
what you are copying, you don't verify what you are pasting, you don't verify what you are posting. The internet never forgets. That is one thing that you should always have at the back of your mind. Make up your mind that today you will get involved in ventures that will improve your life. Because it is only in improving your life that you have edge over others that will make you scale upward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Now, to say bye-bye to your fans and a lot of your mentees out there, what's the next thing for Dr. Mukoro? What's next? Because I know that you've done so much. And even right now, you're just completing something that you've been working on for a long time. What's next? What should we expect from the stable of Dr. Mukoro?
So the next thing I am looking at is how I will be able to contribute my part in governance. I have been at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in the last 10 months. It's a 1 year rigorous senior executive course program. After now, I want to be able to contribute my part into nation building. I want to be able to have the opportunity to see how I can affect policies, governance in a way that will improve the system. Because part of what we've been discussing is bad leadership. If the leadership was good, most of these young men jumping cross-board, going abroad, they won't do it. They won't do that. So how do we contribute our own part?
Mm,
I think that is the next step for John Mukoro.
okay.
Yes.
So, excuse me. So, Dr. Mukoro is going into governance and leadership. You've always been in
Yes.
leadership.
I think better placed. Somebody was asking me the other day, say, you're going into politics, and I said, I'm not going into politics. I would rather say I am going into governance, because
Yeah.
in this part of the world, politics is the emphasis on politics is much more than governance. And I always say that there is a dividing line. Somebody wants to become a governor or a president. Yes, you play politics from the time you buy your form, you are nominated in your party, you do the campaign, and you become president or governor. The day you are sworn in as governor or president or senator, politics should end and governance should begin. The next 4 years should be governance. So people always in this part of the world, they don't know the difference between politics and governance. You were elected, and for 4 years you are still playing politics. You are elected under the party APC, and for 4 years you are still doing APC. From the day you are elected and sworn in, party politics should end and it should focus on governance. That is the only way you can connect with the people. I think we should emphasize more on governance than politics in this part
You
of the
said
world.
something. Thank you very much, Doctor. You said something earlier on, and you said there's an office that people are not using, and it's the office of the citizen. Do you think, with the type of leadership that we have in Nigeria today, do you think the citizens have a say, even if they are saying it? This is the reason why people are shouting out. Some people who don't have enough information, they're just mixing it all up. It's because the Yorubas will say, if the wall does not shift, the lizard will not be able to come in. If the wall does not part ways, the lizard will not be able to enter it. In Yoruba, it says, so basically, they gave room for this unruly youth to be talking. However, we still need to look at it. Do the citizens, do we have a say, per se, in real terms?
A local government chairman called some youths, and when they were leaving, they called them to devise some stipends to them as usual. But they had earlier been in a meeting where they were told and shown the budget of the local government. And they began to ask the chairman, hold your stipend first. This is the budget for this local government. This is what came in. This is what you said you would do. What have you done? And the man was shocked and he was asking them, how did you get the budget? How did you get this? And the man became very uneasy and he gave them a date and said, come in 2 weeks' time. I am going to discuss this budget with you. And from that day, the man began to sit up. The reason they are so confident is because nobody is asking questions. They are so comfortable to lead people they feel are ignorant. The day we begin to rise up and uphold that office of the citizen and begin to participate in governance and begin to ask questions, our leaders will begin to adjust themselves. It is because we are silent, that is why they are thriving in their impunity.
Thank you, Dr. Mukoro. I know I keep saying on the last note, we have 2 more minutes. The Nigeria of today that you're from, that we're talking about, do you think it is one nation? Do you think the war that we are experiencing, the cyber war, the physical, the everything that's going on right now, do you think they're still together? Or, I know that you might not want to answer this question straightforward.
I can answer it.
Thank you. Or do you think it's time? Let me just finish, sir. Do you think it's time, everyone, because the last election did show something to some of us in diaspora, that it has come to a point where Nigeria is no longer standing together as a country. It has become a place of many nations trying to work together. But it's like things is beginning to fall apart. Do you think Nigeria stands a chance? Or it's about time we start looking at some other options?
For me, breaking up is not an option because we have Nigerians, we have highlighted ethnicity, tribe over nationality, nationhood. So I think there should be reorientation as to people to begin to see themselves as Nigerians first before seeing themselves as being Yoruba or Igbos or Hausa or Urhobos or Benin or Ijos. if we can prioritize and highlight our nationhood the more, I think Nigeria stands a better chance being together because we have everything from the dry land, livestock area of the north to the swampy area of the south. We have everything Nigeria needs to be strong as a nation together. All we need is good leadership. And I think that if we put our hands together, we can achieve that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mukoro. I'm sure we will always reach out to you anytime because you're in-house. Thank you very much. And we're very happy that we called you and you came. So we will say, before you go, for people who are just joining us, I will play your profile one more time because we played it very early on in the show. I'll play it one more time to round up the show. So for everyone that has joined us tonight, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your comments because this is something that we cannot do alone. We all have to come together to see how we can work things out. Things are falling apart, and I'm telling you, we know that things are falling apart. But can the center still hold? Let's keep talking. The conversation has to keep going on. So every week, every Thursday, we'll bring someone to deal with the situation on ground. I'm sure Dr. Mukoro will still be back on the Podium because he's actually on the advisory board of Podium International. So we will always have him back. So those of you sending me text messages that how can you reach out to him? I will send the details of Dr. Mukoro and his website. I will send it out as a broadcast. Thank you very much, everyone. Here we have Dr. Mukoro's profile for your reminder.
Dr. John Eguolor Mukoro, a seasoned international coach, facilitator, and trainer, is a prominent figure in the world of business and leadership. He's the co-founder of John Moore Global Consulting LLC and serves as the president and CEO of Ese Cares Global Limited. With a deep passion for nurturing sales champions and helping organizations boost their sales revenue, Dr. Mukoro has made a significant impact in his field. His academic journey includes earning a bachelor's degree in economics from the Enugu State University of Science and Technology and a master's degree in business administration from the American Management University. Dr. Mukoro further honed his skills through the Policy Strategy and Leadership course at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in Kuru, Jos, Nigeria. He is an alumnus of the Lagos Business School Pan-Atlantic University, where he obtained certification in agribusiness management. Additionally, he is a life member of the Enterprise Development Center at Pan-Atlantic University, holding certifications in entrepreneurial management. With over a decade of active banking experience, including roles at Fidelity Bank and Union Bank, Dr. John Mukoro's career path led him to the position of brand manager at one of Nigeria's top commercial banks before his resignation from Union Bank. Notably, Dr. Mukoro is a certified business development service provider, having completed an intensive certification program in partnership with the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria through EDC. He is also a practitioner and master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, trained by leading NLP trainers in Nigeria, Innocent Minds Training and Consulting, and an emotional intelligence consultant trained by Emotion City, Lagos. In recognition of his accomplishments, Dr. John Mukoro was awarded an honorary doctorate degree in business management by European American University at the University of Accra, Ghana in 2019. Furthermore, he holds a certificate in public leadership and policy from the School of Politics, Policy and Governance. As a testament to his global reach, Dr. Mukoro was appointed as the country representative for American Heritage University of Southern California, USA, in Nigeria. He has also served as the Director of Strategy and Mobilization at Africa World Business Center, UAE, under the grand patronage of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Fazal Al Qasimi. In addition to his professional pursuits, Dr. John Mukoro is a director with Emery International, a Malaysian health, wealth, and lifestyle company, and a fellow of the International Society of Diplomats. He is also a real estate consultant at Lekki Estates. On a personal note, he is happily married to Linda Mukoro, and together they are proud parents of 3 wonderful children, Ese, Ejiro, and Ife. Dr. Mukoro's dedication to his family, career, and community is truly remarkable, making him a respected figure in the business world and beyond.
Hi, this is Avika, and you're watching Podium, the TV.
This is K1, the ultimate Oluwaye himself. Keep on watching Podium.
Hey yo, what's up everybody, I'm Paul and I'm Peter. Together we are P Square and you're watching Podium.
The Podium. The Podium showcases the beauty of this nation in a way to correct the ideas people have, ranging from arts and craft, culture and tourism, fashion, oil, agriculture, events, and many more. The Podium is a must-watch. It is entertaining, expository, informative, educative, and interactive. The Podium.
Redefining Africa and its beauties.